Yeah. If I die tomorrow, I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no serve. Hope the future generations can get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
Do you remember the times when it was just me with the hat on?
Yeah. You know what I realized? I'm watching that thing of me saying "We are here as All Might," and I'm like, "Yo, we need a new version of that because I've lost some weight. I'm looking real puffy. I'm looking like a fucking sausage." So
let's give a hand. This is Tone has been doing it. Tone, what's the official weight count loss?
Like 30 pounds. Hey, gang. Yeah, I got walking around with a fucking weight on my back. You know.
Hashtag Tone is killing it.
Indeed.
Welcome, guys. Nerds of the round. It is Tuesday night. I'm your host, Sebastian.
Boy Law.
And your boy Tone from across the hall.
So quick announcement because we have great guests in the back room right there. And yes, I know my background is a little different right now because I did some home decorating.
I got my popcorn ready.
Well, first, one announcement is I want to announce make sure you guys check out fugitivepoems.com because pretty much they're doing a contest right now that's open up at April 6th, ends May 4th to submit in some stuff for them and all that. Please check it out. The link is there. So make sure you guys check out fugitivepoems.com. They are running a contest to be a part of their anthology. So head to the website, check it out. Next thing is check out the Nerds Network in the description after the show to learn about more podcast shows, streams, and everything that is out there. For example, Comics Cast, which is there, the Medusa's Cascade, which comes out every Saturday with collateral recap. Things are heating up. I mean, I think this Saturday we're dropping episode 20 or 19.
Oh, I think we're in 21 now.
Ooh, guys, D&D podcast is kicking it.
You guys are looking forward to the D&D podcast. We're looking forward to the actual game on Saturday. Yo, what's up, Tommy?
Yeah.
So, without further ado, first of all, we want to bring out our guest because we want to get into this album because, like, guys, we this episode of Winter Soldier Falcon and Winter Soldier just had me going like, oh shit, because I was texting you guys like crazy, like, oh shit, and you guys are like, wait, Seabass, wait.
No, I haven't even watched it yet.
I ignored the chat, and then I ignore everything now. I don't touch social media because people just can't wait to talk about these episodes. But it's valid.
Well, it's valid. It is. But the first guest we want to bring out because we had to bring him on for this exciting episode because his excitement, everything. You could definitely catch him on This Week in Pop Culture, The Take, The Last Stop on the L Train, to feel his energy, to feel the mayhem, aka the one, the only Mayhem Mike.
Roll my credits. What's up? Pleasure to be back here, folks.
Welcome back, brethren. Welcome back.
First of all, shout out to Tone out here losing those 5 pounds. I know you worked really hard for it.
Wow.
Out here eating popcorn. I see you.
You know what, man? I'll bench you. All right.
Let's go. Let's go.
And like 30 pounds later, whatever.
Throw down that gauntlet.
It's cool. No, listen, I respect it, Law. I see your beard is shining today. Woo, buddy.
Up a little bit.
Dominicans hooked you up. Seabass.
I'm Puerto Rican. I did my own beard.
Sure you did. Anyway.
Wow. Yo, Mike, I will fight you right now.
Our next guest that we're going to bring out, I like to call these guys the resident the resident green room warm-uppers because they're like one of the guys that are always here hanging out with us, and we're looking forward to get back on their shows. We're always trading back and forth with shows. They're always putting out some great content. They put out 2 great comics with 2 successful Kickstarters and about to do it a 3rd time. They're about to be 3-time Kickstarter annihilators. Give it up for George the Dreamer Medina and Sam the Crazy Man Vera from Cast the Craze.
What up, everybody? What's going on?
What's up?
Yes, what's happening?
You saw the little munchkin.
The girls asking for my popcorn and bogarting my phone to watch Mickey Mouse.
Yo, I gotta say, dude, I've seen a couple episodes with Mike on this thing. Dude, you got your own show. Like, you got stand up, you got a mic in it. Dude, his jokes. It reminds me of like Snapping when you were like on the hood, like just talking about each other's. He is hysterical. I'm just gonna be quiet now.
Listen, I'm waiting for Sam and I'm waiting for Mike to say something out of pocket. Mike is already charged up. I know.
Happen.
What I love.
Wait. It's going to be crazy mayhem.
what I love working with Seabass Law and Tone is that I get a little free range. You know what I'm saying? Some of my other shows, I got to be politically correct. Seabass, I get to come from, especially with Tone. You can't look at this man and tell me that beard is real. Okay?
Oh my god!
Amazon thanks you for the 2-day delivery you get for that. Okay?
They taking that thing?
The Tone beard conspiracy.
It's fine. You know what? You and your QAnon friends can go into the fucking lizard hole and hibernate while you believe that this mustache is fake and I've got a fucking green screen over my face. It's fine.
And believe it or not, guys, we all love each other, so don't worry. But we want to get into this episode because it's going to be great. We're going to take the gloves off on this one. Ready? So the opening, we start off with the conversation with Bucky and Io because we know Io from, she's one of the Wakandans who's out there whooping ass with the daughter Malad. She's doing her thing.
Yes.
But we learned her past with Bucky and that she was one of the people that helped them. So, I mean, how did you guys feel about this? Sam, we will start with you. How did you feel about this opening scene and learning more about Bucky's backstory, how he broke the programming with Io?
Oh, you acting up.
Let's
pick Sam because Sam just binge watched it. Let's blow him up. No, I thought it was dope. I thought bringing them in was hot. She's fine as hell, but I thought but it was just his backstory and the process of him going from
Hey, we get one fucking question going, man. What's going on here?
his process, it really helped for anybody who's new to it to understand his character, because if you didn't know anything about Bucky and you're new to the comic book game and you're new to this, it gives you a little insight into what he went through, who he was, and what he's trying to become, and if he can sustain it. So I mean, that was pretty cool. And they were just, that scene when they showed up. What?
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. That's coming. We're gonna talk about that one because that's that scene. But we're gonna go into the fugitive. Mayhem Mike, how did you feel about this opening?
Yo, the political side of me was like, when she said "you are free," I was like, did a black woman just told a white man
twice?
And I was like, I felt that. You are free. That was more powerful than what's his face on Amistad. Give us free, like damn. The second thing is, I had another thought, right? And I said this before on my other show, and I think you guys can help me. The Winter Soldier is a white man. He uses Hydra uses like these code words to get him into that meditative state that brainwashes him, right? What if he was a black man? What would be the words to get him in that same state, bro?
We already had that movie. So, he fell into the sunken place.
Word.
That was messed up, but
it's just a cup. Stir the cup. Yeah.
Stir the cup, man.
Stir the cup. But no, it was a powerful scene because a lot of people sleep on Bucky, and they just think he's a secondary character. Which, ironically, if you look at the past couple of episodes, him and Sam kind of are to Zemo, Sharon, and the Power Broker, if you ask me. But it's just like you kind of understand why, and I feel like Captain America was going so hard for his best friend. Somebody brainwashed, doesn't have control of their anything, you kind of feel sorry for. So this was a powerful scene to open up. And like my man Sam said, Wakanda and gold, baby.
That's it.
I know what you get, man. I don't know what you're thinking.
What's up, Ari? What up? George, you are up. Give us up. Dude, come on, Dreamer. How did you feel about it?
That scene, dude. Honestly, I was sleeping on the acting ability of Bucky. When that man is breaking down at the end, his face, the amount of emotion on that dude's face, I was like, okay, all right, man, good acting. And then also, if you notice, like whenever she said a word, it would flash back to something in a past movie. Like the word that she said was relevant to whatever, was going on in his life at the moment. And I thought, like Sam said, it's a perfect way for anybody who doesn't know what the heck is going on to bring it back and say, oh, this is what happened to that dude. Okay, I get it. And then it goes back, fast forward to when they were in the alley and boom, you move on from there. But yeah, I thought that was really well done, short and sweet. But it was powerful. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
So
so much emotion, so much emotion. Like Bucky just like being there. There was a moment that it looked like he didn't believe that he was free, and it's been very like apparent throughout the course of the series. But when she says he's free, he's so unsure about it because it's almost like addiction. You're like, am I free? Am I gonna slip up? And you saw that with Zemo. First time you met Zemo and he started saying those words, he was like, I'm free. He kind of had to like puff up his chest and like kind of own it. But seeing him for the first time, like that must have been like, equal parts like a weight off his chest. So he's like, I am free. But you saw like a little bit of trepidation in his eyes where he was just like, is it really like happening? Like, can I just be myself now? Am I allowed to be free of this like Hydra brainwashing? So like so powerful that first scene.
Tony.
All right. So I think before this scene, we did not know how important Wakanda was to Bucky. We saw him in Infinity War where he's just kind of working the fields, kind of just doing the thing, being out in the fields without technology is one of the best ways to kind of just empty your mind. Right. But he talks about to the therapist, I have not found the most peaceful place he found was Wakanda. Right. And you would think, of course, it's Wakanda. I want to go to Wakanda. But for him and we knew he got rid of his brainwashing there. We knew about it. We never really saw it. We don't really know what that trial was for him. It was just kind of one of those things where, yeah, he's clear, he's good to go. But to see him go through this, and that the conversations that he had with Aya, they were doing this multiple times, probably where she was like, "Don't worry, I will stop you." So like there are times where she kicked his ass and put his ass in check because he went into this mode. So to see him free, to see him potentially become the White Wolf, and hopefully we see that at the end of this series to take up that mantle, whether he's still Winter Soldier, that's fine. But to figuratively become the White Wolf, I think that's kind of what we potentially will be getting, and like through the fires, kind of like a phoenix being reborn into who he is in this series. So I think it was really powerful. It was great to see it. I like how we're bringing Io back in, how she was there when T'Chaka was killed, when Bucky was on the run and a fugitive, and then she was also there when Bucky came back and he wasn't tied down by Hydra.
And one of the crazies just thought it was crazy. He just thought the episode was really, really crazy.
That's bonkers right there, bro.
It's bonkers.
And bonkers thought it was crazy.
I also like that. I think it's really important that because she was there for when T'Chaka died, and she was the one who helped Bucky through this, like shows like how much faith and trust she put into him and the bond that she has. She's willing to put away that you are the man that killed my king. And instead it was just like, I'm going to help you because you weren't in control and you're better than this.
Yeah. I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a redemption too, because if she was a head general, then it's kind of like a shame on her that T'Chaka died while she was serving. You know what I'm saying? And then don't get me wrong, Bucky has some guilt too, because if you look at through the flashbacks, when he goes, there's a flashback of him about to when he's fighting Iron Man in Civil War. Yeah. So there's guilt all around. Yep. I think that was an undertone of the scene.
Yeah.
Well, Ari says it's really interesting to me that they take him in after being hidden, isolationist for so long. Yeah, it was very great that they did that, especially what he did. And at the same time, I mean, it was a very powerful scene for me. It showed more about and it showed the hurt, because Bucky is that soldier that's out of time, like Steve.
Yes.
And his time being integrated into reality versus Steve was completely different. This man has demons. But we see Zemo, Turkish Delights. We see Sam talk to a teacher about what was going on with them, why it's so messed up with the blip and how they were just left behind in that. So we see that this is not a perfect world that the government coming back tries to make you believe it is. I mean, I want to get into the next question, but I want to ask you guys this, which is something to do with the blip and see how messed up it is. And I'm going to give you guys different things. We're going to play a little game here real quickly, is who was blipped and who was not, and how would you react in this world? And we will start with George. If you were one of the people who were blipped away and you came back, how would you react in this world?
5 years gone, right? Like you're like, yo, what the heck happened? Because it depends on what I was doing before I left, right? Like, because you're doing whatever it is you thought you were doing 5 years ago, you come back and it's like wait, 5 years passed. What am I still doing this for if 5 years passed? So it really depends on what I was doing, you know. But yeah, it's a total mind fuck, bro. Like you're completely just thrown out of whack when that thing happens. It's like, you know, how do I react to, say, for example, I'm, you know, walking my dog. 5 years later, I'm still walking this dog, but the dog is 5 years older, and it's like, yo, what happened to the puppy I had here? You know, like it's a complete mind fuck. So yeah, I don't even know how I would react if something like that happened to me, to be honest.
Sam, you're sitting there with George podcasting. All of a sudden, George gets blipped away. 5 years pass, and then George blips back in. How do you react, man?
I mean, like, can I still get a Philly cheesesteak around here? That'll be my first question. And did the technology change? Do I have the right?
Yo, I'm telling you.
I'm like, what do you mean it's virtual? You know, so I think that's what I'll be asking myself is what changed. And I'm hungry.
I wanted to play around with that real quick with you guys real quick, but it's like, you know, I want to get back into it because it's like, this is the thing. It's like, you know, we're seeing that people have faced a lot in this blip, those that were left behind, and we're seeing that a lot. And Zemo's interacting with these people, and I don't know if he was one of those that were blipped away or came back, because obviously Zemo was locked up for this whole time. I mean, Mike, if you were one of those guys who were blipped away and you came back and you saw 5 years of change, how would you react?
I'm going back to my job and I'm like, yo, you owe me 5 years of salary, fam. What's going on? What's going on? I never left. I was blipped. There's a difference.
Never left.
Hashtag hazard pay, son.
You technically never got a chance to clock out, so you have like overtime, like, and all sorts of stuff.
Thank you. But I'll take 5 years salary ahead. You know what I'm saying? So like what anybody says, you know, it's all about getting yourself oriented and see what's changed, what hasn't changed, and then see what kind of programs and other things that you can do, like that are available to you. Because remember, when people were blipped, you know, you had Steve Rogers, who was actually doing a like PTSD meeting for people who lost family members. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that's happening after people came back. So what can I do for that? What can I do to sustain myself? What has changed? You know what I'm saying? I was about to say something real crazy, but you know,
you.
So, there's an invention by a guy for a pocket pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Did that evolve? Like, come on, like, what's going on? Is it no longer .hub? Is it something else? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, West Coast Productions. You know what I'm saying? What's going on?
I 5 years ago, it's gonna be Sam and Mike saying the most out of pocket shit this whole podcast.
So we got chili Steve steak sandwich. We got pocket protector. That's what we'll call it.
I'm sorry.
Long. So
I can be better.
I can be better.
Well, actually, we'll save Law for last for this one. Tone, if you were one of the ones who were who were left behind with the blip, I mean, how do you act with that? Like you're just hanging out, you're chilling with your boys in the car. All of a sudden, half your boys just blip away in the car, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, was that to me? My bad. I was getting called by the kids. Okay.
JT went to work.
Oh my God.
It's my money and I want it now.
I can't even top that, man. I'm trying to think of something like legit, and I fucking David coming here with his nonsense. I don't know, man. I think it's different. So like we see what's happening, you know, for the past couple of shows, we've seen what's happening in America, the United States. So we saw what happened when Ant-Man came back. We saw what happened when Monica Rambeau came back, and kind of just shit was kind of fucked up, but they kind of got back into the groove of things. What we're seeing here with the Flag Smashers is you're seeing all these developing nations dealing with all of this. So like think about it, like you're in a nation, and let's say the political system there is all kinds of screwed up and wonky and very one-sided, and let's say those people get blipped, and you're like, great, we finally have some sort of salvation, and you start doing your thing. And then everything comes back immediately, and the status quo comes back. And now you're like, what the hell? We've been trying to do something. So I think that's the question really to answer then versus us like, what are we doing? Like, I'm hoping like the sandwich spots are open. The bodega down the block that makes the best bacon, egg, and cheese hasn't closed to be opened by a different bodega. Like, I mean, that's definitely some shit we would deal with. But I think what we're seeing in this show with the Flag Smashers and dealing with that, where political systems are really screwed up and people don't have any hope. And there was some light in this darkness that was the blip that we can see where the GRC, I think, is kind of bringing back the status quo and screwing with what people are doing.
If the bodega manager isn't in the shelves, you don't trust it, okay? You don't trust it, 100%.
Law, your scenario, you're blipped away, but you're blipped away during your favorite movie, and it's in the middle of your favorite, activity during the movie. What do you do if they're coming back?
He get the Netflix and chill. Tone got blipped away. Tone got blipped away with the homies in the car. Tone got blipped away with the homies in the car. Nobody.
Tone wasn't blipped away.
No, you're right. Tone's homies got blipped away while he was in the car. Everybody had it on gas.
It's gonna be a reckless episode. I love it. Listen, this game came off the top of my head. I am sorry.
Jesse's never letting us come on the same show again. Jesse's never letting us all come on the same show again. I'd be mad as hell. Like, I don't think you know. I'll tell you later in the green room. I'd be fucking mad as hell.
In the middle of a stroking. What happened?
And this is
and I wanted like, do you come back and you're like about to finish? Is that what is my room still my room? Can I still
son, you about to finish in somebody else's room?
Like, oh, my bad. Like, my bad, dog.
My parents sold the house. Like, Mama, there's a random black guy in my room.
Tone, you missed it.
Just let me finish.
And that was a crazy mayhem moment. There we go.
So
let's get back in.
Oh my god.
That's so fun with
I hate it.
So Zemo speaks out about those who have taken the serum as supremacists, with Steve being the exception, which I thought was dope. We know Bucky was forced to take it and used by Hydra for their ideals. Does Bucky still fall into that camp? Though it was never his choice. So, I mean, what do you guys think? We'll lead in with you, Mike, with that when it comes down to Bucky.
Huh? I just want to mess with you. When it comes to Bucky, like, there's so all right. So what I feel like when Bucky is dealing, first of all, you got to understand what Bucky's dealing with. He's still trying to find purpose throughout this whole episode. I know I don't want to jump forward, but he has to find purpose. So whenever he's going against and he's talking against Zemo and he's going against Sam, he's like, the shield means everything to him. And if Cap chose wrong, then there's no hope for him at all. And and now he's kind of like dealing with the whole, I'm not really at peace, but I'm trying to find it throughout the episode. And I think that's what shines out to me, no matter what he's talking about in the dialogue. Even though I agree with them, take the shield and punch the Star Spangled Man in the face. I'm just saying.
We've been calling like, yo, we need to see him get the beat down. Come on, but we'll get into that later. George, you're up. Tag.
Do I think that Bucky falls into the supremacist category? Like into that category?
What do you think of, like, pretty much I repeat. Zemo speaks to taking the serum as like a supremacist thing. Like, it enhances everyone's personality.
Yeah,
it's kind of like what the doctor told Steve before he took the serum is like he didn't know power, but it enhanced what was there in Steve, hence being him the exception and everything. But Bucky was kind of forced to take a serum.
Yeah.
By Hydra and be their soldier. So does Bucky fall into
Hold on. I'm stopping the show. Somebody's mic is popping.
Yeah.
We're not pop lock and dropping it just yet. Who is it?
Do you hear me?
Yeah,
do you hear me now?
I think it's Steve.
My mic is fun.
Oh, okay.
It's not you, Sebastian.
Yeah.
Is it me? No.
I think it's not.
It's like,
hello?
Is
Hello?
it you? Is it you?
Hello?
Is it
Hello?
me?
Hello?
Is it
Hello?
me?
Hello?
Is it
Guys,
us?
we're testing our audio right now. Hello?
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Good.
I think
You
we're
know
back.
what? I probably was banging the desk. That's my fault because I'm hyper.
No, I think that when he took the serum, I mean, because he was brainwashed and he didn't know exactly what he was doing, it gave him a completely different perspective. So when he came back, when he took the serum and he was brainwashed into being this killing machine, all he knew was he had to kill. When he was saved or freed, then he went back to being a good guy again. You know, that soldier, that guy that's like, yeah, I don't even, right now I'm trying to figure it out. Like Mike said, I'm trying to figure out what the heck just happened. I think if he had taken that serum as Bucky before the brainwash, he'd probably be a little more arrogant. Because he was a ladies' man before he was getting. Remember, he was the one getting all of the girls, and Steve was the one getting, you know, he was the wingman. So if he would have taken that, during that Bucky, I think we would have seen a whole different. He would have probably been like the Star Spangled dude that you want to kick his ass. He'd probably be more that guy than he is what he is now. I think the fact that he was brainwashed and now he's this guy trying to figure it out has made him realize, yo, dude, this thing is dangerous and it has to be in the right hands. Otherwise, we're all screwed, you know?
And Ari says Bucky could go either way. I think that's part of what makes his character interesting. Yes. And Dave the Wave, somebody opening a bag of chips. Dave, come on.
All right, Seabass, you missed the Roboto over there, my man.
I think it's C.
Yeah, it's probably my connection, but I'll fix that. But Sam, you're up next.
I think every time I watch him in a scene, he looks like he's looking through whoever it is he's talking to. He looks like his mind is somewhere, like he's thinking about, like he's like, even like when he was blocking the door from Cap, the new Cap, and it was like, why is this? Why do I have to do this? Because he looks like he's borderline could lose control. He looks like he borderline can go back to just fucking shit up. and so I think he's right there. So I think his patience, and he's standing there, he's like, why can't they see what I see? Why don't they understand? You know, and he's standing there, and every time you see these long paused gazes, you know, it's like you could see, like, at one point, is he gonna snap? Is he gonna just like say, fuck it, you know what? It's over anyway. No one's getting this. Let me just shut everybody up. So for me, I'm watching because I want to see how his character evolves, which is why I was surprised what happened when they showed up, and you know, when he was following the cookie crumbs and they met up. It was still at that moment where he's still processing, and so I still think that there's like this. He's on a slippery slope.
Yo, Tone, you didn't get the spoiler, bro. I've been meaning to get on this show just to hear you say that shit live, and you haven't done it. Bro.
You're gonna call me out now? We're 27 minutes in.
You know what? You know what triggered? You know what triggered it? It was Sam saying, not wanting to say what was about to happen. I'm like, yo, spoilers. We can do this.
All right, so I will do it. We are 27 minutes into the episode, but we are talking episode 4 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The whole world is watching. As always, spoilers will be said. So, Sammy, you can say whatever the hell you want now at this point because the spoiler warning has been given. Tony Stark has died. All right.
Well, can I say one thing? Can I interject before the other two of the main cast normally say something? I believe, and we overheard this line before, that power doesn't change who you are; it just amplifies who you already are. You know what I'm saying? Is it possible? And I think, George, you brought up a good point. Because Bucky was brainwashed, he kind of got like a clean slate when it came to the power. But let's look at some of the other people who have it. Steve was heroic. Star Spangled Man, I would say, was confident and a little bit arrogant, but we didn't see that in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
You know where I saw it when in the, I don't know what episode it was, when they were coming out for the homecoming and he's in front of his high school and he was this guy, this all-American dude. Like, he was already that guy in high school. He was the man that everybody was like, oh my God, it's him. You know what I mean? Like, he already had that. So that's why that arrogance is already in him. But and I'm sure you're gonna probably talk about this later on, like that whole scene with him and Battlestar when they're talking about who they saved in Afghanistan. I like what they did with that, and I don't know if that's one of the topics, but I like what they did in that scene because it humanized him just enough for you to kind of put your guard down before he comes back and it's this monster at the end. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So yeah,
I respect it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're up.
Oh man, so Bucky right now, and I'm gonna piggyback off of what Sam is indeed like in that slippery slope. I think he's struggling, like this whole series has been him struggling with, like, he's with him going, I know that I didn't have a choice in this, and I myself am not necessarily a bad person, though I've done so many horrendous things. I've done wrong. So he's in this like slippery slope of, if Sam gave away the shield, and we saw, what does that mean? If he was wrong, then he was wrong about me, whatever the case is. So he's dealing with a lot of stuff where he may not be in the same camp as someone like, what Zemo said, but it can go either way depending on how things unfold for him, because he's right now at that like real fine point of, feeling like his world is crumbling before him, and he's trying to take control. He's trying to be like, listen, I don't want any more super soldiers because that equals bad, and I don't want any more of us walking around who may not have the same intentions as Steve. We're not going to get another Steve. So there's a lot of that where he's hesitant, he's anxious, he's scared. Like there's a lot of that coming through with the character, and I again wouldn't say he falls inside camp because he didn't have a choice, but he's making the conscious effort, like almost every episode that we've seen, to not fall into the camp of someone like Carly, who's or even Captain Wish, and take the serum and use his power for something that it shouldn't be.
Gotcha.
I'm dying. You just called him Captain Wish. But we got
hashtag not my captain. Like,
that.
Fuck you mean not my captain? Like, come on.
So Ari says that scene where they're talking about Afghanistan reminded me of the Castle Russo dynamic in The Punisher. Ooh. Yes, we have Emilio who put up. I don't think it's arrogance so much as entitlement. Walker feels he is entitled because he carries the shield and his now.
You know what? I will take that. Yeah,
absolutely.
And Ari adds in, Tone is the anti-River song as far as spoilers are concerned. Tony, go ahead.
All right,
doing great, Tone. You're doing great.
Thank you.
We love you.
Anyway, so I think for the whole supremacist thing with Bucky, I think to what some of us are saying, he didn't have a choice. He fell off the train, fell into the water. He got brought back, and he was used as an asset. So I don't think he has a choice in what happened to him with the super soldier serum. I think to what we were talking about before about his personality, being the ladies' man, being arrogant, the guy who gets the girl. Sure, that would have definitely been amplified if it was his choice. But I think after the whole Winter Soldier program, that got nixed. I think what's really interesting and what Zemo says is that how Steve was pure. Steve was different. I think we have to look at the other people from the MCU, not just the comics, but the MCU of the people that we know who took the super soldier serum. So we know Red Skull took it. So evil became like fucking Lord Sauron evil, right? And we've got the other Winter Soldiers out in Russia. We don't know what those people's issues were or things or why they were brought in. Right. We know I would make it similar to Wanda and Pietro, who joined because of some trauma that they died with the serum that we see at the end of the show. But throughout his run as Captain America, he's been more aggressive with his approach. He's not going the star speed. He's not going the Captain way. He's going his wave about it with entitlement and the power of the government behind him. Steve, who I think is so different in this aspect, is that Steve is a person who had I don't think he had a chip on his shoulder. He wasn't trying to prove himself to anyone. He was just trying to be a good guy. What did he say to the doctor? I don't like bullies. Bullies come in any shape or the form. I don't like them. So he's gonna fight them. And so the super soldier serum enhances that personality trait of him, and we get Captain, like, who's not willing to lose a person, who's not willing to just kill aimlessly. Obviously, he's killed Nazis and all these other things that we've seen. But I think he just wanted to do the right thing, which was fight the war to protect the people that he loves and to fight bullies, where everyone else who potentially could have taken the serum has some backwater trauma that we know about that would influence the outcome to where they're at now. So
Steve,
as a Captain,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say Steve is we've seen,
and I'm doing this based off MCU lore, not comic lore,
right?
Yeah.
But Steve, as we've seen, is someone without an agenda. And I think that's the big thing that we've been seeing is people with agendas who take the serum end up being people that end up like doing it for the worse. So with that first first time we see Cap, in his first movie, we see him be the good soldier for the most part until Winter Soldier, where he starts questioning the government. And from that point on, he's pretty much a fugitive. The entire time he's looking at like the government and going, nah, fuck you, I'm gonna do my own thing. Like the Sokovia Accords, like everything. He's like, nah, this is how things should be done. This is what's gonna be right. And like, fuck you if you think anything differently. Versus someone like, like we've had Red Skull and all these other guys that they have agendas. Sorry. Ooh. And they have like Walker, who has his own agenda where he's like, I'm a good soldier. Like, you can take orders, but you can't question the orders that you get. You know what I mean?
Well, I want to lead into this, but first, Tony's fan club, Dave. Tony Stark, the mustache is looking better than ever. # Iron Dam.
Well, I shaped it up for you, David. Shaped it up for you.
And Ari goes, there's a reason why Steve is worthy of to lift Magellan, which he did. Salute.
Meow meow.
Meow meow. Meow meow. Yes.
Meow meow. But no, we see a major difference in this episode between Sam and Walker. And Walker didn't specifically say he would take the super soldier serum. He was talking to Battlestar, which George, you go with the conversation about Afghanistan and all that. Battlestar was like, hell yeah, I would take it. But when Zemo asked Sam was like, hell no, I wouldn't take it. Which again, it shows a lot more of Sam's characteristic. And I think it also showed that Zemo has a little bit more respect for Sam. But then there's another moment I want to touch on. Sam wants to talk to Kylie, even after what she just did. And he is talking to her. Do you guys feel that this is a moment that showcases why Steve chose Sam? And we will lead in with George with that.
Go ahead, George. Tell them what we've been waiting for.
Absolutely. I think that what I liked about that scene is that, for a while I was like, do I really want to watch this show? It's the Falcon, it's the Winter Soldier, right? But that scene really made Sam like a watchable character for me. Like, I know his purpose. He says, dude, let me talk to her. This is what I did. This is what I do. This is what I was doing in the armed forces. And so when he goes to talk to her, and the way he's talking to her, he's really getting to her. Like, even that simple, like, wow, when she answers the question, the way she answers, like when she's like, and I would kill him again or whatever. And he's like, wow. Like, she was like, wait, no, you tricked me into saying that. Like, you see how well he communicates. And then it's all gone to shit when, homeboy walks in and is like, you're under arrest. And he's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I was just about to get there. So yeah, no, I think that Sam's the man at this point right now. I'm becoming more and more of a fan of the Falcon as I watch the show. And I think that they're doing a great job at it.
I was waiting for Sam to say that. Sam, you're next.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Yeah, it's your turn. Next, Sam, the man. You're next.
He did everything right from the approach of when you're trying to establish a rapport. He did everything right by when he was cautious about the distance he was with her. Then when he took a step forward, he put his hands in his pocket to show that he wasn't a threat. Right. So all those body manner, those gestures, I thought they did it. They really took note when they wrote this script, because he did it. He was very cautious in every step of the way. And then he would plant the seed and he would listen carefully. And the response, it was a nice dance to see how he was building that trust. He got her engaged enough to think that this guy's different. I'm fighting a system that he represents, but he's different. And that's where she was willing to listen until Knucklehead showed up. But I was just watching that whole approach of from the dance. For me, it looked like a dance. I just thought, and you could tell that the guy is cute. There you go. I'm see. So, but I've always thought he always seemed like the most logical. The one who would always, you've seen it the way he was with trying to help his family. Everything about what he does, he comes from a different cloth, and you showed it play out during that scene.
Mike.
So let me just start off by saying this is an amazing show. We're only like 4 episodes in, and we're going into the 5th coming this week. And let me tell you, first of all, I believe that this is a classic. At least the first 3 episodes to me are classics and need to be owned DVD. And that's just me as a person of color and the meanings behind it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to speak for everybody else on that sense. They've managed to make the main character secondary, and it's like a great list of everything. Because I was hyped for this. It's funny because everybody puts Cap on his pedestal, right? Particularly Bucky and Sam, right? Cap chose Sam in front of Bucky. And then if you remember at the end, like Sam looks at Bucky and Bucky's like, yeah, you're the right one. Take it, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not in that voice. But then here it is. We start. And then Sam's like, it feels like somebody else's shield. Because, it's a black Captain America. He's not ready for that. And then other things. And as we go down the episode, you realize that Sam is not the hero that he thinks he is. Yeah, I'm the Falcon. I didn't want to say it. But you're not going to give me this loan? Yeah, I'm the Falcon. I'm one of the Avengers. But you really just asking Bucky if everything's all right in the street, but we're just arguing? You know what I'm saying? Like, racism in that sense. So now, here it is. He's doing something that Steve did. After watching him do it. Steve met Sam in a PTSD group for veterans recovering. And when Sam was gone during the blip, Steve took over. And now he's using the same practice that he showed Steve with Carly. This man is worthy, but he doesn't even see it himself.
That's awesome.
Beautiful writing.
Yeah.
I've got the writers and the guy and the directors. I need to give them a shout out. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yes.
Tony.
Damn, I can't top that.
That's it, right?
Go to the next question.
We could go to the next question. I mean,
I can't even top it. I enjoy. It was a good scene. It was good writing. I like the scene. Real talk. It was cool. It was really cool to see Sam interact with her, and based off what we got of Sam in Winter Soldier. Knowing his background of talking to people with PTSD and dealing with all that, because that's something he shares with them when losing his wingman, and getting to her on her level, because she feels that she feels that her and her whole cause is misunderstood, and that I think the GRC and all these other governments are there just thinking that they're a nuisance when they believe that they have a real grassroots organization that is really trying to help people. And and these official organizations that came back 5 years are just putting it to shit, that we saw in episode 3, where they're just hoarding supplies for months on end. So it was really great to see those two get on the level, because I was concerned in the path that Carly was going after she blows up the compound. Like, is she going to go down this route? We talk about super soldier serum. So is she going to go down this route of being an extremist and being an arsonist, or because now she's had this 1 to 2 interactions with Sam, she potentially will come back and hear what he has to say and do something good, because we've lost now all the super soldier serum, and it's just them, and the power broker's now after them. So I think it's really cool character development for Sam to bring that back. But to your point, Mike, yeah, he is proving that he is Captain America. He is not fucking Make-A-Wish captain that we see, or whatever the hell Walker is. He is truly the embodiment and successor to the Shield that Steve always knew he would be. Fucking shit. Steve waited how many years to go to that one spot to bring him that shield? He knew it was always going to be Sam. And I think after this episode, and hopefully after the next episode, Sam realizes it, and then we get his costume in episode 6.
Yes. Tone, I just want to thank you for not calling her a terrorist also, because you could have easily said that, but you didn't. Shout out to you, bro.
So we're going to bring some comments up real quick. So Ari says, Sam believes in a certain set of American values that are different than what either Steve or Walker represents. He recognizes the flaws, but is still idealistic on his own way.
Okay, fair enough.
Emilio goes, all I know is that they better find some more serum if Sam puts on the shield, or else he is going to end up like Battlestar. Just saying.
Battlestar was wearing that stupid ass Kevlar.
But you also have to understand, like Sam has been training, like they were on the run.
Battlestar was squishy. Battlestar was squishy.
But even still, so it's like Sam and Battlestar are both squishy, but Sam was on the run with Buck and Steve for years. You think he's not going to learn a thing or two? You saw how he just...
And they fought the forces of Thanos.
Like, come on, man.
Remember, he also snuck up on Bucky, too. So he knows
in all seriousness, I haven't watched about a third of the shows. Boo, Dave, you guys talk about, but I have to say I enjoy this more. Keep up the great work, guys. Waiting for syndication. # free the stash.
Free the stash.
Again, it's free.
It's free.
Hello, go ahead. I want to get your take on Sam and everything, and then we're gonna jump into the next one.
I co-sign to what everyone's been saying. Like, this has been like Sam like dealt with not only like the pressures of the Shield of like holding that mantle, but that imposter syndrome too. Like, he's just like, I'm not your guy. Like, there's no way I can be this guy. And it's that weird thing of like, you don't get to make that decision. It's really weird to say, because like people, it's like the people's champ. Like, we choose you because we see this in you. So you can't choose it for yourself, because then you're not the person right for the Shields. Yeah. So if people starting to see this, and he's starting to see it for himself, and it's starting, like, we're starting to see it as the show progresses, there's no better fit for it. You know, we have his moments where he's like, oh, I'm the Falcon, but I think that's like trying to make light of kind of like rough situations that he's been in. Because on the same man, he's like, I'm the Falcon, and then he gets microaggressed by like the guy trying to give him, he's trying to get a loan from. You know what I mean? I'm the Falcon. Like, what are you talking about? I'm an Avenger, but he's still, sir, is this man bothering you? You know what I mean? So like, it's one of those things where there's weight to this shield. There's weight, like people, what we said, like to him being a black man to carry this shield. You know, especially given they if you're not wearing the shield and you're not wearing the costume, they're gonna treat you like any other person. Now you have the shield, now you have the costume, it probably still won't mean anything for a lot of people, you know? So him, you know, running through that and mulling that over, on top of the fact that he has to like go, he's seeing the like cause and effect of him giving up the shield and being like, yeah, I may have not felt like I was right, but the reason why I got it was because it could have gone that way. And now he's seeing that, and he's like, it's not so much a regret thing, like I told you so, but it's him going, I get why Steve chose me. And I think that's what we're gonna see like throughout the course of this, of like, there's things that it may not be you're the best fighter, you're the best this, you are a good person. And that's been the you know, tagline through you know, since the first Captain America movie.
But I think, you know, we're not giving him enough credit, because I think he's smarter than we think he is. Because Captain America is an iconic figure in the eyes of the world, right? You have to put, so he's like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to fill his shoes and live up to that expectation. So there's a dummy that's going to go in there and he's going to screw shit up. And then when I go in, I'm going to set the bar to a different level. And now, and without those restrictions or those expectations of me, because he is right for the role, but you have to watch somebody screw it up, but you don't want to go back in there and fix it.
Yeah, he set up Walker for failure. But a lot happens, so we're gonna skip over some stuff, because again, there's a lot of stuff that we still want to cover, because we know that Zemo tries to kill Carly. We understand why Zemo wants to do this, because Zemo again views people, and he views her as an extremist. Stay away from Zemo giving you Turkish treats, by the way. We see that Walker picks up one of the vials, so this was a great nod at how he gets the super soldier serum, because he did get it from the power broker in the comics. So he inadvertently got it from the power broker, but he really didn't. But again, we know what's happening. And
we know Bucky's afraid of screwdrivers.
Oh yeah.
that was dope,
bro. Did you know she could do that? No.
But we're about to get into that. Yes, I'm glad you did, because we want to get into this whole scene of when Walker meets the Dora Milaje, when he meets them, and when he touches Ayo on the shoulder, on the shoulder.
That was just dumb.
He fucked up.
I promise you, every one of us was exactly what Bucky was doing. Like, no, let it happen. Yeah. Let it happen.
It was one of those things where, like, after he's getting his ass kicked, it pans out. So you're probably wondering how I got here right now.
So I want to lead Sam because Sam, I want you to lead in with IO kicking this ass. Like when we knew that Walker
getting that work done.
Getting that work. Come on.
Oh, when I was like, you just stupid. You know, when he is the arrogance again, the chip on his shoulder. You know, he wants to be the boss, and she's just a woman. And it was over. I mean, once I was like, oh, he's gonna do it, isn't he? And from that point on, I was just like, all right, this is gonna be. And then it's just the fight sequence was just amazing. It was just amazing. I was just in awe. It was like I felt like I was at a theater. I mean, the quality of the cinematography, the scenes, the dialogue, it was just beautiful, and that ass whooping was just epic.
He had such that punk ass line. Wakanda has no jurisdiction here. I was like, oh my god,
he did it, dude. Whose man's is this?
Fucking cornball, dude.
No, but her retort to that was off the hook too. Like the Dora Milaje has jurisdiction wherever Dora Milaje happens to be. I was like, wow. But yeah, no, I think that the writing is just incredible. Like all like Mike was saying, the writing in this show is just off the hook, and the trigger words, right, that they give Walk, like the trigger lines, put your pointy sticks down, and it's like, oh, we're gonna start there. So he says that, right? And then he's like, you have no jurisdiction, right? And all that. And then he touches her. And that's the straw that breaks it all. Like, she was like, I'm gonna let you talk your crap. I ain't gonna beat you. But then the minute he put his hand on her, and like you said, Sam, like the choreography, like everything in this show is just top notch. It's great.
I think it's an empowering moment for women who are watching altogether, because I think it's easy to forget who the Dora Milaje are unless you're watching Black Panther and you remember. But these guys are no joke. Excuse me, these women are no joke. Yes. You understand? Like, they're badass, you know, and I think the fight scene that follows shows that, to a point where they incapacitated him and the shield. And it was like they forced him to, like, fight without the shield, but also you almost died.
No powers.
But then he almost died. You know what I'm saying? And it shows the difference, because once again, Sam even warned him. He's like, you got a better chance of going against Bucky than these girls. And he was just like, nah, I got this. Yeah, you do. This L for you.
Yeah, but then the look on his face when they actually beat his ass, and he's like, they didn't even have the super serum. Like, I was like,
what does that tell you?
You are way out of your depth, bro. Like,
way out of your league.
One of them took up the shield and was like, I'm the captain now.
Facts! Like, come on, man.
The straight, like, captain step.
Well, let's get into some comments here. So Sam arc is following the hero's journey archetype to a certain extent. He's gotten the call, refused the call. I feel he has crossed the threshold when he went to Lowtown. Yeah. Leo sees Carly as a terrorist, but he loves her frizzy hair. Yes, we all do. She is awesome. The actress who plays Carly right now, she is awesome. I want to see her in more stuff. I want to see her more development of the character.
Yeah, she's great.
They bent this character, because I felt in a way this actress didn't get her go in the Star Wars universe, because again, she played Enfys Nest, which again, badass character that she got to play, and I want to see them develop.
If we ever got a part 2, that would have happened.
Yeah, I would have loved to see her.
Doubtful.
There you go, Jonathan. Cyfax, what up? Hey. What up to those any guys? Hey, Jonathan, what's up? We are waiting for you to come on, bro. We are waiting for you. Tone, Law, take it away with that with what we saw with the Dora Milaje, because I know you guys.
Let me jump in real quick. You ever seen those moments at, like, the family cookout where someone comes out of pocket and you just you just tell your cousins, like, just let them handle it. Let them don't even say nothing. Like, someone coming, you guys shouldn't be here. Like, what are you doing here? And you're just like, go ahead, pop off, Karen. Go ahead. That's exactly the mood where it was like, oh, he about to. Like, I literally saw all of my aunts in that one scene of just like, he about to get all these hands right now. It's about to be a problem. Like, he had no idea. Like we said, he was out of his league.
Right.
Yeah. Like, they fought Thanos' army. Like, let's just put it out there. But like the caliber of training of military stance, like they're protecting the king, like that's their job, is like to protect their king. Like you're a good soldier. Yes, you've seen war, you've seen battles, but like this is you're playing little leagues compared to the majors. It's like there's no comparison. So you're seeing like everyone's just like, oh, they're about to get this work, and that the choreography in that fight scene.
They're throwing spears at each other, bro. Like it's crazy,
bro. All of it. I was here for it. I knew Zemo was gonna get away as soon as he was gonna get a chance to. He was like, deuces, I'm out. But like watching it, like getting the spear through the shield and be like, nah, you're not gonna use that right now. Like I've never seen someone get sunned so bad in my life. It was awesome. And then for her to pick up the shield, just like Cap does, and goes, "This is how you do that. Hold that."
We did. We were about to mention it. We're about to mention
We're
it.
getting to it.
We're about to right now. Listen, time out.
Oh yeah, with the screwdriver.
First of all,
Sam said it.
No, bro.
Oh shit.
So
that's the first thing I asked. Does anybody have a screwdriver?
The choreography on this fight, amazing. For then, like after a while, like you see Bucky like jump in and be like, all right, we gotta settle things down. We gotta, and she's like, Bucky, get the fuck out of my face. Pop, pop, pop. And it was just like he looked defeated. Like for a quick second, he was like,
he looked like a child.
It was like one of those things where he was like, I never expected you to do that to me. Like because she felt that level of betrayal for like what he's been doing, he got it back to him. But like that arm means so much more to him than just having another arm. Like that arm was a gift from them. Like she helped them with the arm. She helped them with the trauma. So for her to literally just like, oh, bet I'm gonna handicap you right now. Hold that. Go sit down. Let the adults talk. Was so like, that's a gut check for Bucky if I've ever seen one. And I felt so bad for him because he's just looking at him like, Bucky, you all right, kid? You want a hug?
He's like, did you know they could do that? He was like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad he was able to just pop it back on and like whatever. Because I was gonna be mad as hell if he was just armless Buck for like the next 2 episodes.
I can't even do it. Like
Buck you.
Ari has a good point. Training versus super soldier serum, because again, this shows training to its best. It's greater foreshadowing that hints at Sam's potential. Yes, it does, because Sam
we've seen it throughout the whole MC. And in the beginning in in the first Captain America movie, his fighting style compared to Winter Soldier went from like a very trained, militarized World War II fighting style, like boxing and whatever the case is, to like MMA, straight up MMA, like close combat. Like, so you're seeing that now with what Sam's doing on that helicopter fight that he did with the same dude that Cap run hands with. Like, come on. Oh, love this show.
Tony, what did you think when they popped up?
Oh man, dude, where do we start? Because we're talking all the points.
Listen, there are points that don't even need to be talked about, because these are the points.
I mean, so to get to the Bucky's afraid of a screwdriver thing, it reminded me of the 5-point palm exploding heart technique that happened in Kill Bill when she did it. Mm-hmm. But it was also one of those things. It's very symbolic of when minority parents tell you, I brought you into this world and I can take you. Like that's exactly
for all the PLC like listeners and viewers right now.
The fact that she was the one that did it. The fact that she was the one that did it.
She got him back and then she just took his fucking arm away and all this. So like I didn't But the Dora Milaje and fighting with Walker, there's just no contest. No contest. Walker is a soldier. He's a good soldier. He's been training. I would say he went into after college. So he was training from 18 to however old he is. These women have been training since fucking birth. And he is fighting for he can say he's fighting for the government. He's fighting for himself.
Yeah.
Right. They are fighting for a cause, they are truly fighting for their country. They're fighting for their king. They're fighting for the king that they lost under their guard. Because even she says that it was a shame The fact that Zemo's walking around is a shame to them after what happened to T'Chaka. And they have this teamwork to fight with each other like a fucking unit, like one mind.
Crazy.
Battlestar and fucking Walker ain't doing nothing together. Yeah, they're buddies, but they're not. There's no tactics between the two of them. He's literally a meat shield. That's literally what Battlestar was. He's a fucking red shirt. He's a glorified red shirt, which is unfortunate because he's a named character. But he's not
wrong. He's not wrong.
Right? I mean, I just
he's a plot point.
He is a plot point. He's John Walker's parent. That's really what they did for him.
Wow.
That's really what they did, which is fine. It's fine. Whatever.
He said we're really gonna make you an anime antagonist.
Walker had his shield. There you go.
Right. So what they did, they sunned him. They made him question himself. I would say after that fight, plus losing Battlestar is what made Walker go over the edge. Because he was already tiptoeing on that edge before because he grew his beard. You know, when you grow a beard, you're now a bad guy. Like the 5 o'clock scruff, like you're definitely a bad guy. And
I feel a way about this.
Those two things happens, and then he was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna drink the serum," which makes no sense because everyone got fucking injected. But hearsay, whatever. We're not gonna talk about that.
Well, if I could just quickly chime in, I just think there was like a little needle in it, like the way it was kind of like shaped. I could be totally wrong, but
That's
maybe maybe him ingesting it via orally if he drink it. Pocket protector. Anyway,
you know what? Maybe you could have just taken it like a suppository. Because
yes. I just want to say two things before we move on. One is that when they threw spears at each other, that kind of reminds me, and it could have been the when we were on lockdown of COVID. Remember the Dora Milaje launched a video of them throwing spears and them training what they were doing during quarantine. That's kind of what that reminds me of. Tone 100%. The 5 fingers exploding heart thing, that was amazing. And then she said James in Wakandan. Not even like James. Calling me by my government name. So that man was hurt because I believe
like James Buchanan Barnes.
Right. So you got sunned, and then just to find out that the people didn't believe in you still, who gave you your peace. Go to the corner. Just go to the corner. Start a Linkin Park record. It starts with you.
So before we get into Walker, I just want to ask, because Kylie kills again, we lose Battlestar because Kylie comes in, and I think just out of the heat of the moment we get poor Battlestar. So again, guys, I'm sorry for him. So Kylie kills again. Do you guys feel that Kylie is going to be redeemable after this death? Let's start with George.
Yeah, I think that scene with I can't remember now, the guy who got killed at the end. I forget his name. There's a scene where he's with her when they find the serums, and he says to her that he was a big fan of Captain America, but Captain America was fighting in a time where it was simpler, right? He says, it was good versus evil, and he knew the difference, and that was it. We are in a different time now. We don't. It's very blurry as to what's good and what's bad. We're like in the middle. And I think that scene right there kind of like tells me that, yeah, she's fighting and she's killing, which she shouldn't do, right? According to the whole superhero genre, she shouldn't be killing, but she's doing it because that's her only, like, to her, it's like, this is the only thing I can do. They won't listen to me, so I have to do it by force, almost like that Malcolm X, right? By any means necessary. And I think that that's what she's doing. And I think that because they've written it in a way where we know why she does it, I think that she is, in my eyes, redeemable at the end, whatever happens. And because she actually, when she's speaking with Sam, she's like, you want to join me? Like, let's do this together. Like, I feel like you know what I'm talking about, and I think that for that reason, she is redeemable to me.
Sam,
yeah, I think as we get closer to her confrontation with the book collector, when she gets closer to that moment, something's going to happen that causes either whether she's getting close to death or she winds up repenting. Something's going to happen between her and Sam as they get closer, because he's going to want to save her. But you can see those little nuances where she's caught between a rock and a hard place. She believes that she has to do extreme things in order to achieve the goal she wants. But I think that conversation she had with Sam made her realize that mindset is similar to that she's trying to fight. You know what I mean? So that's where she's at a crossroad. But I believe something's going to happen, and it's going to be at a point where it's, almost all gone, where it changes. It might be too late, or we'll see.
Mike.
I don't think so. I think she's going to die. I think she's going to die before she fully gets redeemed. But, in a sense, that will kind of send Sam on the way of being Captain America to stop something that he could have been able to stop and to be a better person and pick up the shield. Now, it could be a combination of all the things that me, Sam, and George has said. Is it George or Jorge? Did I say your name wrong? George. Okay, I just want to make sure. It could be a combination of things, but I really think the way this writing is going is to kind of show you that there's no happy endings. You know what I'm saying? Because it seemed like that guy was one of her closest friends and a really avid follower, and he died on her watch. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a accountable death. So now she has to retaliate because it was her plan. It was her, and she's already getting threatened more than likely by Power Broker or somebody else. So it's just like all these different things that she's going to get pushed over the edge. And the crazy thing is, they all think that they're right.
Yeah.
Carly thinks she's right for standing up for the people who don't have a voice, and there are people who follow her. Star Spangled Man is like, I'm just trying to fight the good fight and make sure everything is good. Sam and Bucky is just trying to stop everything from going on. It was just trying, and in a sense, trying to find a type of purpose. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel, at least. So they all think they're right in addressing this one issue, but I don't think it's going to be a happy ending. I think Carly's going to die.
I think, Mike, you said something that was really good. You said he died on her watch, and almost in a sense, he died because of her. You know what I mean? It wasn't just on her watch; it was because of her because she was the one that killed Battlestar, and then this guy just
Falcon punched him in the chest. Like, come on, chill out, Falcon, punch.
So I mean,
there are rules to this engagement. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna go over with some comments in here. I'm gonna skip Tony Wall for this round, but I want to get you guys because I want to tackle Walker, and there's only one more question I want to tackle, and I know you guys are gonna have a lot to weigh in with Walker. But first I want to get some comments. Was Ari goes, I think she'll end up as a tragic kill. She'll have an infamy, but it'll be too late, and she'll have to die. Yep, pretty much true. Even Malcolm never promoted outright murder, though he felt people should defend themselves by any means necessary, but never murder. Big difference between him and Carly. Yep. Jonathan Syfax, what this so dope about the point George made is that Marvel uses contemporary theme and then hits you with the contradiction. In contrast, they hit you with the woo banger. And Joe Tolliver goes, "What the fuck? Get these guys off the stream. You didn't invite me. We got you, Joe."
You're on episode 1.
Make sure you guys
You was on the Spider Cut.
Make sure you guys are tuning in to Comic Cast for more Joe Tolliver and Drew.
We miss you too.
We love you, bro. He will be here for the season final of Falcon with Jarrell. We're gonna have Comic Cast on here for that. That's gonna be beautiful. But let's get into the moment. At the end of the episode,
murder.
We are given this imagery was crazy because, first of all, I want to give an example of, and here we go. Wait. Love you, Booze. I love Joe. But let's get into this moment. Is that, when we saw Steve Rogers in the scene of the crowd approaching Loki, this was very different. We saw a hero, someone who was there, and it was a symbol of someone as a hero of the people when he approached Loki. Now, when we get Walker, John motherfucking Walker, which, by the way, Wyatt Russell, a lot of praise goes from for bringing this character to life, aka the U.S. agent.
Yes.
The fact that we get Walker in this imagery, and someone pointed out the muted colors on his costume versus Steve's, smashing one of the flag smashers who gave up and said, I'm done, I didn't do it. And he smashes him with the shield. And then we get people taking this picture It's this imagery at the end that we have that we know he is not the Captain America for the job. U.S. agent maybe, but not Cap. How did you guys feel about this scene when it was done, the imagery and everything? Mike, we will take it away with you. Lead in.
So once again, I gotta give props to the actor, Mr. Russell. You have done your job. You have made people hate you. You made people talk about you. You have stolen the light.
People haven't hated people this much since like Game of Thrones.
Listen, the best meme I saw of him was like they gave the guy who voiced the guy from Up a job, and I was like, no, no, they didn't. No. But his acting has been really great, and so much that it's caused a reaction out of us. You look at his costume, as you pointed out, and you look at Captain America's. Captain America's mostly, except when he's in a stuff suit, was brighter. You know what I'm saying? It represented hope. With his was darker, and it seemed to get darker as he went darker. And then he gets to that point where I believe Civil War, Captain America is about to do it to Iron Man, but he doesn't, and he kills the guy who said, "I gave up," in front of these people, and he knows the people are there, and he just puts on the shield. There's blood on his hands and there's blood on the shield. And that lets you know the kind of madman that he is, that he'll sit there and he'll rationalize, they killed one of mine, so I killed one of theirs. And it's like, that's not what you stand for. That's not who you're supposed to be. And for me, honestly, I mean, that was a great scene, but I was looking at Bucky and Sam. I was like, so what you going to do? So what you going to do? Because it seems
you don't give him this work now?
Because now, Bucky is probably from the original or closest super soldier serum that was the Cap. We don't know if this one is the full or just the same. What is Bucky gonna do? Because Sam is still kind of squishy, as Law said. You know what I'm saying? So you could get killed too. Mm-hmm. There's so many conflicting ideas. This was an amazing cliffhanger. I cannot wait for this week's episode.
Oh yeah. And we got Don Juana, so say Anita Dora Milaje.
Facts.
And they say yes, facts.
A lot of people have been saying that.
Becomes female Captain America. We'll see. John Walker is his favorite Cap. He goes, remember Steve Rogers was the U.S. agent first and number? Yes, in the comics, he definitely was. And then also, too, I think Steve Rogers faked his death. Nope, he's lived it. And then Joe, who are you guys talking about? The MCU has never had a Captain America. They made Captain I love you, Joe. I love George, take it away with this one.
Kudos to the acting job on that he did. I mean, even when like the process of him tweaking, like when he takes the serum, you know he took it when he's doing the whole twitching, and even at the end, after, like, I don't know if you guys noticed when he's holding that final scene, you know, the final shot of him holding the shield, his arm over here is still twitching, like his other arm is still twitching, like the little nuances that he did in the acting to let you know that he's completely gone. And then you know, you see blood on the shield for the first time in how many movies, right? Like, you've never seen that before, and here it is for the first time on the shield. There's blood, and it's by the guy who's supposed to be Captain America. You know, they're just doing a great job. They know how to hook you to watch the next episode, and here we are. We're off to the next one and see what happens there. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
Sam.
You know, it was definitely straight up American me with the way he went raged on him. It was crazy.
American me.
You know, when they got him on the ledge and but you know. It's so symbolic to what we're seeing today, right? You know, that symbol of justice and the protector that just went rogue, and that's what that's for society's fighting right now. And you see that resemblance, and it sparks that emotion in you when you're like, everything that you've grown to, you were taught to trust, and you thought you were safe when you seen that shield, right? And now all hope was gone. You know what I mean? And he went straight up psycho. And when I watched in the background, you saw Sam and Bucky put their heads down and shake their heads. I was like, why are you shaking your heads? You know what I mean? I was like, don't shake your head. So, you know what I mean? So then when you watched everybody, all the standbys with their cameras, you know what I mean? Everyone's just watching. It's everything that we see today in society. So I loved how they connected reality with fantasy. It was just pure beauty. I think it was, it captured an emotion, that drama, and it made you, if you were never a fan of comic books and you watched these 4 episodes, you're a fan for life.
And then just to touch up, Joe says he was just showing his American side digging for oil. I don't see a problem.
Wow, Joe.
Joe's a beast.
No bueno. No bueno.
Law, take it away with this one.
I love that this show hasn't shied away from the very first episode, hasn't shied away from being a very like clear reflection of what we're going through today. Like Marvel the comics never really shies away from that thing, but Marvel and the MCU and Disney kind of like showcases it and then breezes by it. They're like, nah, full display for everyone to see. That this whole season has been there to make you uncomfortable and make you feel like shit, like this is really happening, like, you know, and just seeing like the cameras all go out and everyone watching, and in the back of your head you're just like, he's probably going to get a Medal of Honor for this. Like how much did your heart just sink just now? You know what I mean? Like there's blood on the shield and you're like you've never seen Steve with blood on the shield. And like there's so many things that like play throughout your head that you're just like, he's going to get away with this. He's going to probably be a hero for this. Like he's not in the wrong for this. And the whole time I'm watching, and you know, I've heard like a bunch of like takes on it. Everyone's like, we love John Walker now. He's my, and I'm just like, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But that's what it's supposed to do. Because it's very, very clearly painting the same picture. Like if you turn on the news right now.
Yes.
And I am so proud of Marvel and Disney and these guys and the writers for actually pulling through on this and being like, hey, don't look away. This is what we got. This is what we're doing. And now we're going to see in these next few episodes, what are the consequences for Walker, if there's any consequences. I'm hoping it's a Bucky like hands to the face, but you know, we'll see. But yeah, it was a lot, especially given like the week that we've had. That like playing that scene over again was just like, oh yeah.
Tony,
I also want to hear Sebastian, so you're not going to go away with
no. I'm going to give my final thoughts on the show because I want to give a final thoughts to everything on this because I love all the stuff that you guys have tackled today. It's just, this has been a really great episode and this series has been really great. But Tony, please take it away with this one.
I mean, what can be said that hasn't been said already by everybody? It's, to your point, yeah, it's meant to make you feel uncomfortable, but it's also one of those things of like, how many times do we got to see this, right? Like how many times do we have to see the media, whether it's made up media, whether it's the news, and the conversations that you have about it, surrounding it. And I think to your point, Law, Disney's doing a great job towing the line of having this out there as a media for us to consume. So it's not directly in our backyard, but also in our backyard at the same time. Yeah. And I think what they did for the story to have John Walker go after someone who wasn't Carly, because if he goes after Carly and he attempts to kill her after killing Battlestar, like we can all just be like, all right, well, yeah, I mean, I get it, right? She kills your homeboy and you go after her and you're going to try to kill her because at that point the serum is running through you. But for him to just be one of those, like, you killed one of mine, I'm killing one of yours. And this guy literally running away. He gave up. His hands were up. He was on the ground. There were people all around the town, like looking about what's going on. This was not behind closed doors. And also, it's really fucked up that the guy who gets killed by the Shield is the guy who was a fan of Captain America, and that's very something you hear where people who are fans who want to be law enforcement or want to do something and they end up being victims of that violence. You know, and that's always a sad thing to hear and a tragic thing to hear. And I think we're having that. I think we're having those moments here. We're having that conversation in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Obviously, there are much bigger conversations to have about the actual topic, but I think in a mainstream media, I think this was a really great way of doing it. And kudos to Marvel. I mean, we saw after the Infinity phases, that they really are going to try to go down a very diverse route, try to bring in more stories that are more relevant to the population. And I think they are, so far so good, right? So far so good. WandaVision, we really dealt with mental health, and that's something that people don't really talk about. It's always been a very taboo subject. People taking mental health breaks and all that. People just be like, what are you talking about? That doesn't, you're not sick. You got issues. Deal with your issues and come to work. But we really have that here. We're dealing with issues on the home front that we're dealing with in our backyard, that we were dealing with in past summer, that we've been dealing with all our lives, all that we can remember. So it'll be, I'm happy that they're taking the stance that Marvel's doing and telling these stories for people that did not feel represented in the first 3 phases. Understandably so. I mean, obviously the main characters are white dudes, and we got a really good story over 10 years, but now it's time to tell other stories and make people feel they see themselves in this mainstream media, because it's our culture at this point.
I want to thank you guys for all of this, because I got some really great comments. Again, if you guys have seen George, Sam, and Mike here, have them on the show. Joe, I recommend you reaching out to these guys, definitely. I want to go over with the social commentary, but first, the thing is that we can't do much about the moment. Walker is the cap of the world. Nothing that Sam and Bucky can do at the moment to get to fix it. Joe, which again, I hate about the Marvel comics, but yeah, you can have the argument live show. Yes, we're gonna have Joe Tolliver on the final episode of Falcon MCU. I think it's wrong for going to social promotion. There's a balance, but I agree. I mean, it happens. Listen, comics to me, I've always touched up on social aspects, all the way back in the 80s, the 70s, because Stan Lee did it. And what we're seeing now is that they are taking these stories and making them fit today's social climate. And I don't see it as a negative. I see it as a way of like, you know what? We all need to unite, be together, be people, and realize that whatever's bad, we got to call that what it is. And what's happening right now is that one is I love John Walker's character. I love the transition we're seeing it, because he becomes U.S. agent in the comics. And you see, like with the scruff and everything, the guy is breaking down. And one of the things about John Walker, he's a hero without a country, because he believes he's doing something good, but he may be also suffering PTSD because, again, when he mentioned Afghanistan. So there's a lot that has to be talked about him. Falcon, Sam, going through what he's going through. And I think it's a great thing what they're doing with this show. I mean, and the best stories have been stuff that was borrowed from real life. And they're taking moments that we're seeing that we get afraid to talk about and communicate about, where in this world right now where everyone's arguing about it instead of talking about it. And the only way we can get through these issues is if we're talking about it. And that's why I like with Sam's character, he's talking to Kylie and trying to get through to her. He's not fighting her. He's trying to get to the point where it's like, listen, we can talk this out. We could diffuse this. And I think that it's just been overall great writing with the show with that. Whereas like if you go into a situation hot-headed in anything, which Walker did, it's going to blow up. But again, that's just my final thought on it. I think they're writing these characters really great, and how the writers said that, you know what, we're going to write these characters where you don't know who you're going to feel for at the end of this, because this person could be right. And they're going at it in a very, very gray ground. And Sam is the one in the middle, because he is the star of the show. And it's like, again, it's like he's seeing everything. And that's why I feel like at the end, when we get our season final, we're going to see him rise up to be everyone's Captain America, not just for one country, but for everybody who believe in the symbol of that shield. And that's what they're setting him up for, which I love it. I love it. But first of all, I want everyone to thank everyone who's been here. Remember to check out Catch the Craze. The links is in the description. Sam and George are killing it. They're about to launch their third Kickstarter and own Kickstarter. Make sure you get them on your show. If you're a comic podcast person out there, talking to creators on that, make sure you reach out to them. Make sure you reach out to Mayhem
Mike.
We'll be
on their show like in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, you guys are coming on. Yep,
I'm on.
Uh-oh.
I think I'm on
We're
tomorrow.
taking over.
Tomorrow you're on town tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emilio. Also, too, make sure you catch Mayhem Mike on Sundays on This Week in Pop Culture, on Wednesdays on The Take, and the last stop on the L Train. And make sure you check out his gaming channel link, Q Mayhem Gaming.
So
finally, for all our fans out there, make sure you let us know what other villain characters, because we see that Zemo is being developed.
Yes.
Let us know what other villain characters you would like MCU to give that treatment that they're doing to Zemo. And last pitch, I want a movie with Loki, Zemo, Killmonger, Agatha, and Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture. Give us a movie and a show with these guys. Give it to us, please. This has been another episode of Nerds Around. I'm your boy Sebastian.
It's your boy Law.
Up, we got.
You have one job.
God damn it! You.
And we love all you guys. Peace out.
Peace.